first, because I'm Appropriations Chairman. Here we are about 3 years into, one of the worst economic downturns since the Great Depression. What have we done so far to balance the massive budget deficits that have occurred in Arizona because of a big drop in income coupled with ridiculously high spending levels that occurred during the first, roughly half of, the 2000, year 2000, 2001, 2003, 2004, 2005. Spending increased dramatically because the economy was churning, and the income drops away, and we have these massive deficits. We never should have got that high, which is one reason why we're putting spending limits on now. But what have we done thus far? Well, we've cut $2.2 billion from the state budget, general fund budget, which is fairly significant given that, it was at about $10 billion. So, you're doing, 22% cut over this period of time. But the gap was massive. So we also took some federal stimulus money. I wasn't thrilled with that, but we really would have sunk had we not done that. We took $2.4 billion of that. We took on $2.1 billion in debt. We rolled over, we delayed payments to the tune of $1.3 billion, and we blew through a $700 million rainy day fund. Now, a lot of those things are gimmicks, they're borrowing. I wasn't a big fan of it, but there's a big difference between conservative Republicans and liberal Democrats. They do that stuff to keep the good times rolling, to keep the programs big, and to even expand them. We did that to prevent tax increases. However, we're coming back this year with a much stronger Republican majorities in both chambers. And because we now have supermajorities, on top of the $2.2 billion in cuts that we made to a roughly $10 billion budget, we should be coming back, and we're going to probably do about another $1.5 billion in cuts during this budget. So things get pretty lean. A large part of these budget cuts are going to be education and healthcare. And that's really unavoidable because K-12 education is 42% of our budget. Universities are 11% of our budget. So as you can see, a little over half of the budget is education. Another 16% is healthcare, Medicaid. So, we're pushing, almost 70% of the budget are those areas. And that's why most of the cuts occur in those areas. Now, in terms of the healthcare cuts, we're going to be cutting about $750 million off of the budget by dropping 250,000 people who were put on to the indigent healthcare system by the voters when they were misled with Prop 204 a little over a decade ago. There was a tobacco lawsuit settlement whereby all the states got a share of money from tobacco companies because of the illnesses that smoking caused, and states paid for it. And a group went to the voters and they said, oh, we have this windfall. Let's expand the number of people who get free health care from the state, and we'll just use this found tobacco settlement money. And the voters said, well, found money, why not? Let's be nice. And they did it. And they added these people on. And by the way, almost all the states don't cover people at this level of income. They're kind of above traditional poverty level. We're one of only 6 states that do. Well, here we are, over a decade later, and the bill for these people is $750 million. That's $750 million. And the tobacco money is paying for $100 million worth of expense. So we just can't afford it. And worse yet, if we can't kill Obamacare, and I sure hope we can.
We can.
Yeah.
It's unconstitutional.
I agree. But in the event that we can't, if those people are still on the rolls in 14, we continue paying for this income level forever. If they're not, the feds pick it up. So the economic devastation will be unbelievable. But I'm confident that we will kill Obamacare, so that hopefully won't be an issue. But, it's 1 in 6 people in Arizona, 1 in 6 people in Arizona is now on indigent health care. That's totally unacceptable, so we're trying to stop that. So in addition, so most of the cuts in education, but we've been making cuts everywhere, because we have to. So we're going to do about $1.5, $1.6 billion in additional cuts. It's going to be difficult, but we really have no choice, because if we don't the only thing there are only two ways you reduce this deficit, this bridge between spending and income. There's only two ways you can do it. You either reduce your spending or you increase your income. And we're doing these reductions, reduce the spending. We also believe that some job stimulus bill that we recently passed, which gives some tax advantages to businesses and inducements to come here and expand, will increase income. So we're going to be closing it those two ways.